Right, well, it's been interesting times for Ribble over the last few years. They've moved from being a brand that's known for, good value, pretty unexciting winter bikes into doing loads of interesting stuff, and e-bikes have been a big part of that transition. In a very short while, Ribble have gone from making no e-bikes at all to making some really good ones. So they made the Endurance SLE, which is an e-road bike. That was our e-bike of the year last year. And as well as that, we've seen bikes like the Hybrid ALE, which is a city bike, and the CGR, which is a gravel bike. Both of those we've really enjoyed riding too. So today they're adding 2 new bikes to the stable and they've sent them down for review. So we're going to do a quick look around them, show you what they are. If you've got any questions about these bikes, ask them in the comments below and we'll try and get them answered for you. And if you like videos about e-bikes, that's what we do. So hit subscribe, hit the bell icon, and we'll tell you when we make new ones. Right, first up is this. This is the Ribble Hybrid ALE step through. The Hybrid ALE has been around for a little while now. We've reviewed it on eBike Tips. There's a link to that review in the description below. We really liked the Hybrid ALE when we reviewed it, and making a step through version of a bike like this is a bit of a no-brainer really. Around town when you're hopping on and off at the traffic lights or popping into the shops, it's just easier to get on with a bike like this. It's not a boy-girl thing. I use a step-through bike all the time when I'm commuting to work and back. It's not a full low-step frame. You'll often see this as a big diameter down tube, just this tube holding the bike together. Here we've got all the tubes you get in a normal diamond frame. This one's just dropped to give more of a low steps, easier to get on and off. Ribble have used Mahler's e-bike motion system for all their e-bikes all the way through, and this bike's no exception. It's a really good system. It's probably my favourite of the lightweight systems, very light and relatively inexpensive. You get a battery in the down tube here, it's not removable, chargeable from this port, and that delivers power to a hub motor in the rear wheel here, which you can't even see behind that massive cassette there. Now, until now, changing modes on the e-bike motion system meant pressing a button here on the top tube, and that meant taking your hands off the bars. So for this version, there's a new remote here. So it's up and down buttons and an on-off in the middle. There's little LEDs so you can see which mode you're in, and it's pretty easy to use. It's even got a little bit of haptic feedback in there so you can tell that you've pressed the button without looking. Also neatened up is the cabling here at the front. You can see that it's all fully internal, goes into this spacer stack in front of here. Now on a road bike, you have some claimed aerodynamic benefit, but here it's just to make it look a bit nicer, so it cleans up the front end. The Hybrid ALE step through is available in 2 builds, which are essentially the same. You get a SRAM Apex single ring group set here. You've got Mavic Axiom wheels, Schwalbe's excellent G1 tyres, and Ribble's own finishing kit. This is the sport version, which is £2,299 for an extra 100 quid. You can have the fully loaded version where you get mudguards and a rack and some rechargeable lights thrown in. So that's the Ribble Hybrid ALE step through. Let's roll this out and let's bring in the other bike. And it looks pretty similar, doesn't it? And it is pretty similar, with the obvious exception being the drop bars at the front here. So this is the Ribble CGR ALE step through, which is a step through e-gravel bike, bringing the total number of step through e-gravel bikes I can name to 1. And do you need a step through e-gravel bike? Well, you can probably imagine having quite a lot of fun on them. To be honest, I mean, either of these bikes would be perfectly capable off-road. They've both got wide ratio transmissions. They've both got really good Schwalbe G1 all-round tyres. With the drops on, you can hunker down into a slightly lower position, which makes it a bit more efficient on the flat bits, and also it gives you a good position for control when you're doing more technical stuff on the gravel. But as well as that, it might also be a really good option for, say, a longer commute where you want a slightly more efficient position, the benefit of the motor, and also obviously you can put mudguards and a rack on this bike as well. Ribble have spec'd the CGR ALE step through with a double chainring transmission. This one's got Shimano 105 for $2,799. There's also a slightly cheaper build, $2,399 with Shimano Tiagra. Apart from that, most of the finishing kit is the same, with the notable exception of the seat post, which is carbon instead of alloy to give you a little bit more compliance over the bumps on the rough ground. Now these 2 bikes are sharing a frame design. It's exactly the same frame. And for launch, there's just two sizes. There's a small, medium, and there's a medium large. Now, Ribble say that will cater for riders from about 5'1" up to about 5'11". So if you're as tall as me, then you might be missing out, I'm afraid, but it still caters for a good wide range of riders. So those are Ribble's new e-bikes, the hybrid ALE step-through and the CGR ALE step-through. Tell us what you think in the comments below. Is step-through e-gravel going to be the next big thing? Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Cheers.